I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go through bad days, hard times, low pay, high crime, pathways to a life without sunshine. I'm the lifeline. With this life, I'm gonna be the pipeline, shining in the nighttime. Bet on me to swoop down. I'ma go toe to toe. Already know that I'm never gonna back down.
Hello, it's Rich with Breathingwiththemarkets.com. Today is February 8th, 2026. I'm here with Sean from the great state of Utah on a little progress report. How you doing, Sean?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. How about yourself, Rich?
Good, good. So how have you been lately in the market?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, this last week was pretty good. I was able to take a few payouts. Yeah, been getting a little bit more consistent every day. So yeah, it's been looking pretty good.
Nice. And you still on a 1 minute time frame?
Yep. Still trading the 1 minute chart.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and go over some of your payouts this week. And I don't know if they're all in the same week or not. You can elaborate on them. I guess it doesn't matter. It's consistent payouts in a row. So let me go ahead and share the screen, see what pops up.
Make nice or make history. I got that dog in me, yeah. Turn me up. Big energy, got the crowd going nuts. I got that dog in me,
I find that I can trade the market with the way that we trade the market at any time of the day.
So, but the speed of the candles might be different, right?
Yeah, I would say it's more manipulated. It's a little bit heavier manipulation, I guess, or speed wise, whatever you would call it. But yeah, I've just had more instances where like yesterday, I blew up one of my pro accounts yesterday because it was my fault. Like there was a couple mistakes that I made. I was in too heavy from the very beginning, just things that mistakes I made. But I was in the trade and the candle was green the whole time. Didn't change. And then all of a sudden a wick appeared and my trade was gone and the account was gone. And then it took off and went the direction that I thought it was going to go instantly. But with that split second, if I hadn't been in a little bit too heavy, that quick manipulation move that the chart kicked me out. So,
and which session was that?
That was in New York session.
Oh, New York. Yeah. That's the whole key, right? So when we talk about hit rate and we talk about traders and how much you lose, that, for example, did you have a stop loss?
No.
Okay. So those that have a stop loss. So in my opinion, you're not gambling. And it's not my opinion. I know you're not gambling, because, the way that we approach the market, right? One thing that will knock us out, and you're learning that, and you know that, and I know that, and it happens to me, is I might be over leveraged at that moment in time.
Yep.
That's the risk that we're willing to take. That in itself is not gambling. Gambling is not knowing where you're at in the market and then pushing buttons, the risk and reward, and just keep blowing through accounts one after another.
Yeah.
Depending on what the market is. So you stepped up to stepped up in a negative way, but you stepped up to the New York session and you got wicked out, just a little flashbang wick before it continued to the upside. And that will happen. That'll happen pretty often if you're over leveraged, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense depending on the sessions and depending on the volatility within the candle, not the volume indicator. So are you able to separate when people talk about a volume indicator and they're looking at the volume down below? I don't teach this, but I tell you that that's just full of shit. You can actually see volume in a candle if you know how to trade.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you picking up on that?
Yep. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things I was saying about with the Asia session. I feel like almost that volume in the candle, like you're saying, is a little bit less during the Asia session. So what you're actually going in with is what you're going in with. During the New York session, that 1 or 2 micros can feel like 4 or 5 micros.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, what's unique about the New York session and is that what you see is not what you're getting. You can be knocked out of the market. You can even have the least amount of leverage possible, and say you had a little bit left on your account. I'm trying to mathematically, it might not sound right, but we're going to get the point. Is that 3 inches down below, you can have an exit point, and the candle's never reached that. Mm-hmm. But what happens is the candle's flexing so fast and so much that it doesn't have time to get down there. It's just a brief second. So that's what we're dealing with on the New York. And in Asia and London, you probably traded more Asia and London than I ever have in my trading career, right? So yeah. That's which doesn't mean it's bad. I've been on the Asia London session before, and it was a little static for me, where the candles stick sometimes, and I hate that. And then they'll stick, and then they'll flex, and it's just maybe the time that I was in the market. Maybe it's not all the time. But when you go there and it does that, it's like, I don't know if I could trade this, right? I could trade it. I just don't have the patience for staring at a candle with 45 seconds left and it's the same candle.
Yeah.
And then the last 10 seconds, it moves, it flexes.
Yeah.
Do you see that every once in a while?
Yeah, I definitely see that during the Asia session. Also, kind of, it's really wicky. You know, you get lots of really, it'll kind of like make an aggressive move in one direction and then quickly whip back and leave a long wick on a lot of the stuff. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more tricky. I feel like a little more finicky.
It's a skill, right?
Yep.
It's a different skill, right? It's a different mindset. So going from Asia, London, New York, right? It is a different mindset, right? If you want to go in the heat, you want to go in the 8-second bull ride, right when the market opens, that is a different mindset. And even though you have the direction right, it's still, to produce each and every day. It's like anything else. A new pitcher gets on the mound, and the last pitcher was right-handed, and now this pitcher's lefty, right? It's a different mindset, right? The ball's going to come in differently, and that's the same with the market. Let's go ahead and look at your second payout here. Not second, but within a week.
Yeah. So
this one's on the second. So this payout was on February 2nd, 2026.
Okay. Yep.
So I believe we have one on the second, the third, and the fourth. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And then this one was for $2,788. And this is with the $50,000 account again?
Yep.
So how much did you pay for that account?
Well, they paid me in the end, but
yeah,
$100 maybe. I think it was like $100.
$100 for a $50,000 account, test account. You passed that. You made what? How much did you have to make in that test account?
I had to make $3,000 initially to pass the test, and then another $2,000 after. So
you had to make a total of $5,000 before you can even start to take out payouts.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's $5,000, and then you made another. If we add those three up, that's $6,624 plus the $5,000. That's $11,624. Now, and you spent $100 on that account, right? Risk and reward, right? In a prior interview, I asked you about if someone gave you $1 million, would you rather take the $1 million or would you rather take the skill? And you were fairly new to Breathing with the Markets, and you picked the skill. Yeah. And clearly, you were not where you're at today. Do you think you made the right choice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty stupid question, huh?
Yeah. It's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah. So when people show big P&Ls, I have $1 million, I made $1 million today, and they're on Bitcoin. And oh, by the way, all the Bitcoin gurus, right? All the gamblers, right? Because, it's gambling if you don't know where you're at in the market. And they're just throwing money in there. Bitcoin's 200,000. Bitcoin's going to 150,000. Bitcoin's going to 125,000. Where's Bitcoin, people? Right? If they knew how to read a chart, they would understand where Bitcoin was going a long time ago.
Yep.
Right? And this is what we talk about. We talk about being able to approach the market consistently, day in and day out, and having a skill day in and day out. Now, we may make a mistake. We may blow in an account. That's okay, because you didn't lose your skill, and your skill's only going to get better. How do you feel about that?
Before, when I would blow an account or like a test account, if I would lose a test account, it would kind of, it would mess with me a little bit. I'd get frustrated, upset. Now I really don't even care. Like, I don't even care if that I lost the account. It was like, oh yeah, man, that sucks. I gotta have to wait, 4 more days, 5 more days before I can get another one back up and going again. But it's like, I know I can do it. Like, I know I can get another one there, and I know I can make $5,000 again, easy. And so it doesn't bother me. Like, yeah, that's part of the game. We lost. Like, let's keep going. Like, we got to get another one, keep going. Like, I can't look at that. It wasn't that account that I made money on that I blew, but even if it was that account, like, okay, that account made me, $5,000 or $6,000, and that'll help pay for the next one that's going to make me however much money it's going to make,
Yeah, exactly. And the mindset, right? What you had to do prior. Now, people say, well, yeah, but people YOLO. No, this is not a YOLO program, right? This is not a YOLO program. This is real talk, real traders, right? Somebody that really, I made a video the other day. I said, if you come to Breathing with the Markets, you're really going to understand whether trading's for you or not. You're really, really going to understand that, because I'm going to teach you something that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see your skill building, and you know what the results are going to be as you perfect your skill day in and day out. Yeah. Now, a few months ago, I don't know how long you've been with me, but let's just say a couple months, few months. Is that around? About? Okay. A few months ago, what was your thought process prior to coming? I know you had a good friend, Will, who's also with us, a great trader, and you're a great trader. It's interesting. What was your thought process prior? Because you saw Will getting payouts, and you're like, wow, that's cool. How are you doing that? I don't know the conversations, but I can assume, like, if I saw someone getting payouts, I'm like, hey, what do you know that I don't know? What's going on?
Yeah.
Go back 3 months to right now, not in between the videos, but from 3 months to right now. Where are you at? Where's your mindset?
Well, I feel like I know what I'm doing, rather than before I didn't know what I was doing at all. I just like before in some of the other interviews that we've had, like I've said that I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. Like I I thought I could understand and see what the chart was doing or what it was going to do. But I now, looking back, actually having the ability to read the chart and to understand the language that it's speaking really clear, I understand that I didn't know, and it's not the fact that, I'm wrong, or I've got to accept this or accept that. It's just that it was something that I hadn't learned yet. Some steps that I needed to take to sharpen up the skill and learn more. And since I've done that, since I've put in the time, put in the chart time, I've really seen it expand, the knowledge in the system expand, and how to implement it, like how to really implement it. Because there are, like, I've noticed that, I do see our setup happen. It's not, and I wouldn't say it's a setup because it's not, but I would say I see the things happen that we're looking for in areas that we wouldn't take a trade, if that makes sense. And it's kind of hard for me to not want to get in and catch that move. But, with our guidelines and our rules, I still can see it and see where it's most likely going to go. But because of how we trade and the things that we're looking for, I'm able to actually control that, the urge to want to get in and to make better decisions trading. So,
and that's where we talk about inside. I've said this before, inside versus outside, right?
Yep.
When you're inside the market versus outside, and we won't go into specific details on that, but when you're inside the market, those where the probabilities go down, right?
Yeah.
So the probabilities go down. So that's why it's an algorithm, right? And I show the traders where the weakest hand is, right?
Yep.
And it's not the inside.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, can we take that? Yes, but you have to perfect that. That's a whole different system. It's not a system as in changing a strategy. That's a faster system, right?
Yeah.
Because I have traders who say, "Hey, Rich, why are you taking this?" Or, that, well, my trading has excelled to that area. And that's a whole different ballgame, right? It is a whole different ballgame. If you want to blow an account quickly, then try that and do that. And you're not going to be happy with it, right? So it's like everything else. If you cannot, not you personally, but if a trader cannot trade the open, the first 15 minutes of the open, then stay out of it, right? Stay out, stay on the outside, right?
Yep.
And work your way. And if 12 o'clock in the afternoon is boring for you, then you go closer to the open. Is 9 o'clock okay? Is 8 o'clock okay? 7? Now you're into the bull riding zone, right? So that you don't just start in the fire.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get burnt. You're going to get burnt hard. You're going to blame it on yourself. You're going to think that something doesn't work. But when we look back, we can actually see the facts in the market and say, if you waited where I told you to wait, you have the highest probability. Don't over leverage, and you will start feeding yourself and your family. So that's where you're talking about. Yes, you do see it. And that's what's great is, yes, you do see it. So you're able to follow that market no matter what, right? And you see the things. But you can go back in history. I challenge you to go back in history and actually see how big the moves are. They're a little tweakish, right?
Yep.
I mean, they can fake out some pretty good. They could go up and pump, but then if you chase that, the problem is if you chase that, then you're more than likely going to blow a count if you're in too deep or heavy. So once again, I train on the outside. I train where the weakest hand is, where the markets commit, right? The market has to, once the market commits, there's no going back.
Yep.
It may be ugly in an area, but there's no going back. There's no going back. Well, why are moving averages created? Because the market goes up and down. All of these highs and lows, it's not finding liquidity. The market is fluid and the market goes up and down and up and down. And if you don't know how to follow the market up and down, then we as traders have a lot to learn. So as your skill level grows, and you could already be there, but why jump into that position where you know where the loot is?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, if you want to be aggressive, knowing that you're going to take some heat and you want to get in there just to get some stuff out of your system, no problem, right? But then someone's going to say, "Oh, so how many counts have you lost?" Listen, relax. I'm not on one fucking micro. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not on one micro on the outside, okay? Yeah. Because I'd have to probably say 0, right? Like, think about it. If you know where the market's going and you don't overledge, it's pretty damn hard to lose.
Oh, yeah. It's almost impossible to blow an account if you're in one micro. If you're,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, and knowing where you're at in the market.
Exactly, right? Yes. Yep.
Even 2 micros, even 3. I mean, it just goes up with your skill level, right? We don't judge a skill level by how many micros or minis in the market either. Each individual trader is finding their lane. It's not finding their own strategy. It's finding their lane, their comfort zone. How much money do I have in the bank? Am I working a second job just for trading? And I'm using that money? Is this supplemental income? Is this trying to be my primary income, which I don't suggest for anyone, right? Because when you learn how to trade successfully in the market, it's going to take you a few minutes a day.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the day is wasted time. And the rest of the day, I wouldn't suggest staring at the market, because once you understand how to follow the market, it's going to suck you right in.
Yep.
And it's not going to be because of gambling. You're going to see the market and you're going to say, I need this move.
Yep.
And that's not a good habit either. Does it happen to me? Yes. Is it hard to break? Yes. So the best thing is, I was looking at charts this morning, but thank God, there's nothing moving. That's the safest place. I love the weekend. A lot of traders hate the weekend. They can't wait for Monday. I love weekends. And the reason I love weekends, the market's not open.
Yeah.
Yes, it opens possibly in the afternoon on Sunday, but it gives me breathing room where I can go to the chart and I can just look at the history and nothing's moving. How do you feel about that?
I agree. The market is definitely, I don't know. It's almost like just like you said, it's dangerous. Once you learn how the market moves and you can see how it moves, a lot of those setups that you see, it's like really tempting. It's like, oh my gosh, I just really want to get in there right now. Or like I can almost open up a chart right now with anybody, like with my wife, and I'll open up a chart and I'll be like, sell. And then within, 1, 2, 3 minutes, it's just, it's going down. Like you can just see it. And it's really, really hard. Like for me personally, it's really hard not to over leverage on my first entry. Like, cause I know where it's going, but it's like, I go in a little bit too heavy and the drawdown is just too much, like just a little bit too much for my comfort zone. So I have to close it.
I know, but we know that pump, right? We know because sometimes that we don't go in a little heavier, we get that first pump down and it's deep. It's deep.
Yeah.
And then you're like, damn it. But that's trading. So that's trading. So if you're consistent with your leverage each and every time, then you will get that pump. It's guessing. Should I go in light, heavier, lighter, heavier, more, or light? No, keep it consistent, right? And if you keep it consistent and say you're at 5 micros, go to 6 micros on all of them, then go to 7 on all of them. Yeah, you're going to get wicked out. That's a possibility. The more you climb, and that's the account size. That's why they give you they're overweighted accounts. Very high leverage, very minimal drawdown, and it's trailing.
Yep,
it's trailing. So I asked you. I thought maybe I asked you before in this, but you don't use a stop loss, correct? And the reason why is in your own words. Why?
I don't use a stop loss just because I know what side of the market I'm on, and I have other things that are going to tell me, I don't know. I don't really have that very often though. Like, and I'm not trying to like brag or say that I know
you're being truthful
or anything, but
you're being truthful.
I feel like I've almost gotten to the point now where I'm right there. Like I'm like right there when it's about to pump, like I'm getting in, I'm right there. But I've noticed that there is, once price moves to that section or that area right where I'm looking to get in, it'll sit there and it'll go back and forth just a little bit. Like you'll get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 candles that do this before it does its move. And I tend to get a little bit chopped up in that back and forth right before the move. And so
that's where my advice would be. That's where to scalp out and get in, right? Because you can, if you get that pump, depends on how much money it is, or whatever it is, whether you're doing ticks, pips, points, whatever. But you scalp out of it and then reload when you see something that I taught you to get back in there, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times on that first move or whatever, yes, it comes back and retests, and I show everyone where that happens, right? And for a reason. So with that in mind, right? And it could be a time to add in. It depends on how much. So once again, this all depends on how much leverage we're in. If we're in there not real heavy, take your time. I know where it's going. And you know what? If you want to come back on me, I'm going to smack you again. You want to go a little bit deeper on me? I'm going to hit you again because I know where you're going. I know where you're going. I can see where you came from. I can see what's going on. I know where you're headed. Yep. You want to fake everyone out? You want to clean out the system? Go ahead. I've said this numerous times, especially in my last videos. The market has more money than us. It's not trader versus trader. It's not I'm going to pound the market. No, the market's going to pound you, right? Yeah. So if the market has more money than us, then we need the skill. What's great about realistic, objective trading in the market is that we have a skill and we understand what the market looks like. The market doesn't understand what we look like.
Yep.
The market doesn't know when we are going to get in, right?
Yep.
We know what the market is doing and we know the direction of travel. That is powerful. Yep. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's amazing just to be able to take out half of the market. Once you know the direction of the market and you can take out the other half of the market, it clears everything up a lot, and just makes it trading a lot easier. And once you don't have to worry about, I got to throw the stop loss on here because I don't know. Ultimately, you're gambling if you need a stop loss and you don't know what side of the market you're on or what way the direction's going. And yeah, just having the confidence in that, having the confidence in time and time again, the experience that I've gained staring at the charts for hours, doing our system and trading that in that objective way has solidified that trust and that faith in the system. So like we were saying, that's basically why I don't use a stop loss.
So let's use this. So say you're going to take a short and you have $5 million and you go all in with the $5 million. There's going to be a point in time, if there's a little pullback, that $5 million is going to belong to the market, right?
Yeah.
So if we don't have more money than the market, we could take $1 trillion. Ask the silver crew that was chasing, ask the big banks that were sitting there chasing. And if you belong to one of those banks that lost their ass, you may want to learn how to trade on your own. But what happens when the market turns? The market turns, and it turns for a reason. It just doesn't turn because of news or because of hype. It has to set up to turn. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yep.
So if we know that being an all-time millionaire doesn't mean shit, because the market has more money than you will ever have, and if you don't have a skill and you're not getting money coming in for your gambling habit, the market's going to eat you alive. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. It's just gambling at that point. You might as well walk into a casino at that point and just, because it's basically the odds you're giving yourself when you trade that way, and when you don't understand what you're doing. Yeah, you're just throwing your money away at that point.
So there's two things that I want to talk about: leverage and skill. You can take two traders, you against one of these fake gurus, and I can name them, and they have good names, and I guarantee you would outtrade them. Why? I know it, because I taught you how to view the market.
Yep.
Right? So it's not trader versus trader. It's you can start at zero each and every day. They cannot.
Yeah.
They gamble. How do I take 10,000 to 100,000? How do I take 50,000 to $1 million? We see it all the time. How do I teach you how to trade? Have I ever told you that you're going to make $1 million?
No.
Have I ever showed you what to do to make $1 million?
Yes. You've shown me a skill to make $1 million eventually, but
I haven't said.
You don't tell me take this trade, take that trade.
But what I'm saying is, I haven't said this is a $1 million strategy. This is, if you do this, you're going to be $1 million, because the money to me is nothing.
Yeah.
It's skill, right? Yeah. But yes, I agree. I agree with you. But I don't advertise that in a sense that, hey, if you want to make your quickest million, come on over to Breathing with the Markets. That's not how this works.
No.
This is about, hey, if you want to learn a skill, and if you go out to pizza, your favorite pizza place or your favorite steak place, that skill is going to be with you no matter where you go. And when you go home and you're waiting for the market to open tomorrow, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. You know you're in the right place. You can feel you're in the right place. You can see you're in the right place, and you're getting the rewards in the right place. And nobody can take that away from you, Sean. You got those rewards on your own time and on your own watch. That's powerful. That is so, so powerful, right?
Yep.
So if we take leverage, and all of these gambling gurus that talk about they made $300,000 today, gambling. Yes, gambling. And nobody can dispute that. Nobody can get on here with us and show a chart and say the reason they got on this trade and they took it short right here because of X, Y, and Z, whatever they want to say. We know if they're full of shit or not. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. It only takes a couple minutes of someone trying to talk about anything before I notice I'm like, okay, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's not hard to spot them anymore.
So it's very difficult, right, to reach out to the community. It's very difficult to understand because you're not the norm. I'm not the norm. People at breathingwiththemarkets.com are not the norm. We're outsiders. We're not insiders. We're outsiders. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being on the outside, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm okay with that because the truth will always prevail. Right? So being bold, like you said, it's not cockiness. It's the facts. It's the truth. I can open up a chart. I'm speaking on your behalf, if I can. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can open up a chart. I immediately know where I'm at. And I tell my wife, I would be short right here. And what does it do? It goes short. Or I'm watching TV on YouTube and I'm flicking through channels and I land on this most popular trader and they're speaking about their guru shit and word salad. And I tell my wife, no, he's in the wrong direction. It's going to go short. It's going to go south. And what happens? The market goes short.
Yep.
Right? It's crazy, the amount of knowledge that you had, but you can only gain the knowledge by applying it and leaning into it and taking that risk, right? You took a risk joining Breathing with the Markets, and now you have to take another risk, paying for your continued education in the market, applying what you were taught. Tell me what that feels like.
Well, I would just say that applying the knowledge that I've gained through breathing with the markets, in the process of doing that, it's just developed a confidence in trading that I didn't have before. And so I speak Spanish too. I don't know if I told you that, but I speak Spanish as well. And it's almost like learning a language. Like we say, it's its own language. And when I was learning Spanish, I was able to pick up Spanish pretty quick. I think I learned Spanish in about 3 months.
Being in construction, you need to.
Yeah, I actually lived in Mexico for 2 years, so I was that's where I learned it. But same type of deal in trading. Like the more that you put into it, the more practice that we get in using our system, the things that you've taught me, the objectives trading has the confidence has just gone through the roof. Like I can't see the chart any differently, I guess, or I can't see the chart differently is what I'm trying to say. And just the learning process, just like learning Spanish, like learning the way to trade, learning how to trade, it takes time and it is a different language, but once you understand the language, it just becomes so much easier and clear and just right there in front of your face.
So give me a dark moment while you've been with breathingwiththemarkets.com. We all have dark moments, right? Doesn't matter how great of a trader you are. There's going to be a big day that's most important to you where you fail. Have you had a dark moment prior to taking these payouts? What did you do and what did you see and how did you fix it?
Yeah, I've had numerous dark moments actually. Not a lot, but those, and I wouldn't even say they've been challenging moments. And I've looked at those moments have been the moments where I grew the most in the end. Like I've noticed that just before these last few payouts, I had a pretty dark moment where I felt like I knew, like I felt like I had it. Like, okay, I got it. Like I got it. But I felt like I was getting it down pretty good, and then I would do something stupid, or I would try and I don't know. I kind of would get into and to be honest, I was trying to catch pullbacks. I started trying to catch pullbacks for some reason. I don't know because I thought that all those winning, that winning that I had was like, oh, I know where it's going. It's going to pull back. Why not catch that move too? Like all these things, and I had to step back and be like, holy, like what am I doing? Like what am I doing? Like this isn't how I trade. This isn't how we trade. This isn't right. And it kind of sent me into this like, what am I doing? Like what is going on? Like what's going on here? What am I doing? What should I be looking for? But ultimately just had to step back, evaluate and say, okay, just get back to the way you know how to trade, back to the fundamentals, like, and really, down to the system, back to the system. And through that kind of evaluation and, tough time, I guess, I've come out better on the other side every time. So every time I do have those moments, I'm actually, before at the beginning, they were pretty hard to deal with, like hard to overcome, hard to struggle with a little bit of time. But now they kind of come up and I'm like, look, it's just part of the process. Like this is going to help me. I'm going to come out better on the other side. It's something that I need to learn. And so that's what I try and do now is every time I come up against one of those things, one of those obstacles, I just try and figure out what I'm doing wrong, what maybe I can improve on, what areas I need to be better in. And that's helped me progress significantly. So.
Do you journal?
No.
Do you understand why I say journaling sucks?
Yeah. Yep.
And you'd have in your own words, why would I say journaling sucks?
Well, my feelings aren't going to change the the way that I trade. I'll go back and evaluate my trades from, what I know I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. But as far as like
is that based on your opinion?
No, it's based off of an objective set of rules that we follow. So I can look.
And would we really call them rules? Because there's a lot of fakes out there that say these are the rules that I do. I wait for the high or the low to be violated, and then I wait for a pullback inside of that range. Mm-hmm. I wait for a closure candle, then I wait for a fair value gap to come down and retest that, and then I take it long to daily's high. Those can be a set of rules.
Yeah.
And I call that a set of bullshit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And you understand why. Because the market doesn't move this way.
Yeah.
If you go back in history, traders, and you just specifically do what I just said, you can go ahead and find out how many times this actually works and how many times it actually presents itself. And if something does not present itself in the market day after day, time frame after time frame, pair after pair, indices, stocks, futures, if it doesn't repeat itself often, then you know nothing about the algo.
Yep.
Yes or no?
Yeah, definitely. The algo repeats itself over and over again. So
on any pair, on any time frame.
Yep.
It's just bigger and smaller, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
So when you went through a dark moment, you had a set of tools that you could go back and visually look at where you got back in the market. That's why executions are so important. Executions, not the actual arrows themselves, but the actual execution, because the execution in itself will tell you about spread also. I mean, about spread and slippage, right? Whatever you want to call it. The bottom line is shitty fills. Okay. Shitty fills. So that will help also that, wait a minute. I was here and I got filled down here, right? So you will see that on different platforms. And there are certain platforms that I will not trade on because of that. And a lot of traders don't know because they don't trade thousands and thousands of trades, right? Scalpers are very aggressive, and they're aggressive meaning that they're just not pushing buttons, but they're following the market. When you can follow the market quickly, and is a 1 minute time frame quick for you?
No, it's boring.
It's boring, right?
Yeah.
So yes. So that's why we don't go in a higher time frame, right?
Yep.
So we're the wise. Don't go up. And then the farther down you go, you're going to get some, tweaker candles going on. So in those dark moments, you had a plan. You understood the framework of how we trade objectively in the market. You were able to implement that in those dark moments. How do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. I mean, it's being able to come to the market every day, even after a dark time like that, and open up a fresh account. If I blew an account or a test account, being able to open up a fresh test account and take it to the max daily within 10 minutes on 4 different accounts. Like I said before, I'm almost to the point now where I don't even care anymore. Like, I don't care if I blow an account. Like, it doesn't affect me really that much anymore. Like, it's just like, okay, well, that was part of the risk. Like, I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen eventually, but just staying consistent and being able to execute all the time and making sure all my trades are spot on and with the way that we trade. And it's just been really great being able to have that confidence and every time I pull up the chart to know that I'm going to probably make money.
Are you buying 10 and 20 accounts at a time and copy trading them, trying to YOLO and pass these accounts?
No, I don't copy trade at all. I trade everything individually. And I am a little bit more aggressive. I wouldn't say I YOLO, but I'm a little bit more aggressive in the test accounts than I am in the pro account.
Well, when I say YOLO, it's you don't know where you're at in the market, right?
Yeah.
You only live once is YOLO. So there's no such thing as YOLOing a trade when you know how to trade. There's no such thing as piss poor risk management when you don't use a stop loss when you know how to trade.
Yeah.
All of these gurus talk about risk management, but they don't know how to trade. Risk management is a word. Risk management, they can't even tell you what risk management is. They get out their calculator and they look at the nearest high and low, and they tell you that they're going to put their stop loss above the high or below the low, because if price gets there and confirms that it's there, then the market has changed and therefore you're protected. The most stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
They don't know where they're at in the market. They don't know how the market moves. The market goes up and down, and it is so boring to keep saying this. As the market's going up and down, we want the market to go up and down, because when you're wherever you are in the market, if the market goes up against your position, we want that better price.
Yep.
But they're scared and they're shitting their pants because it's going against them because they're gambling.
Yeah.
That is piss poor risk management. Risk starts before the execution of a trade. And when we have a dark moment or when we over leverage, right? Because a lot of times when we get in the market and we hit and we say we're going to be at 5 minis or something, right? All of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is powerful. Well, 5 minis is really not powerful if you know where you're at in the market, right? Mm-hmm. The market's going to squeeze and the market's going to not be real aggressive in that area. It'll be aggressive on the downside. If I'm short, it's going to be aggressive on the downside. It's not going to be aggressive on the upside. I know where I'm at in the market, right? Yeah. Now, can I withstand a pullback? Well, depends on the leverage. But if you're always consistently using a set of 5, no matter what it is, or 10, right? Maybe you go in 5 and then you go in another 5 on the pullback, right? So it could be 10 micros, it could be 10 minis now. Right. But it doesn't matter. If we had, and I guarantee this, if I had just as much money as the beast, I would beat the beast. If I had just as much money as the market, I would beat the market. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, definitely agree with that. There's no way.
Because why?
Because we have a skill and we know how the market speaks to us.
Correct. So if we know how the market speaks and we know the language of the market, how can we lose if we're not over leveraged.
Yeah.
That's what people and that's what traders around the world don't understand. It's not a luck. It's not gambling. It's calculated risk. If we talk, life's a gamble, right? So if we always just say it's a gamble for you to go to work and not be laid off. Is it true? Yes. Do people get laid off every day?
Yeah.
Is it a gamble working? Is it a gamble being loyal to your work? Is it a gamble being loyal to the company that just treats you like another number? Let's think about this. Reality. Is it worth it to put all your eggs in one basket? Because all of a sudden that company shows you no loyalty whatsoever. You're just a number. If you're a first responder and you get hurt, you're just a number. And those who understand that understand what I'm talking about. Once you're hurt, once you're injured, once you are no longer an asset to them, the city, the state, the actual government that's paying the bills, not individuals and not close friends, not the department name, but the actual person, place, or thing that's actually paying the bills, we are all just a number.
Yep.
It's a numbers game in trading. If you understand the language of the market, now you have to figure out your leverage on your account size. That is it. Because once you understand the market, all you have to do is adjust the leverage.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Sean?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I've just like we were talking about kind of at the beginning when I got knocked out of that one trade, it was because of leverage. Like it was because I was in a little bit too heavy on that one. And with the account size that I had, it just couldn't handle that pullback. And yeah, just knowing that I can come in and make money any day from zero, start a new account, make some money on it without any worry, without any stress, really. Like I come to the chart and just open it up. Like you said, it's a little bit boring, but I don't know. I'm kind of a person that I like intricate details type stuff, and so I like to look at the chart and point out everything and find all the stuff. And I don't know, it's just really fun. Trading's fun now, and it's not become a headache or a chore.
Now, not to take away from the reality, right? We all lose from doing stupid things.
Yep.
And if we lose here at Breathing with the Markets, doesn't mean we lost just because of leverage, right? We're human. We have a dark moment. We get in the market when we're not supposed to get in the market. And how do we know that? It's not an excuse. It's because we can actually look at the chart and go, I was too early. The move happened and I was too late. I didn't wait for X, Y, and Z. And it's in front of us. One thing about the candles, they're going to continue to print. And if the candles go the opposite direction printing, we can visually see the market and understand what the market did and what we didn't do.
Yeah.
So when we talk about a loss on here, yes, a high probability when we do lose, it's because of leverage. There's the other side, the dark side, where we do make mistakes also, where we shouldn't have been in. Like you said, I am seeing the moves and I am seeing how the market forms and I am following the market in areas that I'm not supposed to trade because that is a lower probability trade. I can see that. All of a sudden I started to trade that and it worked and it worked and I got a little braver and I added more and it worked and then boom, it blew up. Yep. That's where I'm talking about consistency, hit rate. A hit rate inside the market is going to be different. And when you trade inside the market, you're going to have to be faster. So it is at a different level. Not that you're not there, but it is a different level. It is a faster market in a sense that you have to get in and get out faster. Yeah. If you are not getting in and getting out faster inside the market versus outside, that's a problem. So it's not the trading and it's not the algorithm. It's time, right? We understand what time is, right? Timing, right? We understand what that is and the value of it. And therefore, outside trading on the outside is the weakest hand, the biggest moves, the most profit, and where the skill building starts. And as we build that skill from the outside, we can continue to work inside. And when we get bit, we can come out to the outside a little bit. Then we go back in. It's about growing. How can you grow with the skill that you have? Just what we just talked about. You're starting from the outside, working your way in. And then when you need to go to the outside a little bit, maybe, hey, I've taken some heat this week. I've taken some heat. What am I doing? I'm in the right place. I'm taking heat. Well, it's the first 15 minutes of the market. Get out of that heat a little bit. Get a little bit, to the right and start pounding it there, or go back and work your way back in, right? Sean, so is there any other encouragement or valuable information that you could give traders out there that are having some dark moments in their life in trading?
I would just say stick with it. If you're not with Breathing with the Markets, it's going to be hard for you just because it's a long road and it's a dark road. I feel like in that trading sense. If you are with Breathing with the Markets and you're still struggling a little bit or having some dark or come across dark times, like just know that it will get better. The more time you put in, the more practice, the more reps you get in, it gets better. And the skill does grow. Obviously everyone's learns at a different pace and are able to pick things up at a different pace. So just because somebody maybe picks something up a little bit quicker than you, don't think that it's impossible or that you're not going to get it. It's definitely learnable. It's definitely attainable. And I would just say, keep going and keep fighting through. Like, we know that it works. We know this system works. We know that Rich is here, to help us, and ultimately it'll get better. Like, it will get better if you just stick it out and really put in the effort that it deserves. Cause it really does. Anything that you do in life, it deserves the effort that you put into it to make it what it is. So I would just say, whatever you're putting in is what you're going to get out. And if you put in the amount of effort that you need to learn the skill, then you'll get it eventually.
Nice. Great. Job well done. Nice. One thing I would like to add to that is that all traders' financial situation is different. We have some traders here at Breathing with the Markets that buy just one account a month. Just one account a month. Great. It's not that they can't afford more than one account a month, but it's kind of like this extended probation, right?
Yeah.
They have one account a month, right? And based on their work schedule also. Okay. So everyone is going to grow differently. Depends on your financial availability to purchase these test accounts, right?
Yep.
Time. So I said the other day on one of my videos that I have the highest hit rate, and I believe I do. I honestly believe this. I have the highest hit rate of turning successful traders to gain a skill in the market. And the reason I say this, it comes deep from my heart, is because I truly understand the market. And if I'm teaching a trader or a person how the market moves, how could they fail at that? And I'm not talking millions of dollars. How could they fail at that, gaining the skill, if they don't put in the work?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm overstating what I'm saying?
No.
Based on where you were prior, how frustrated, those dark moments, having a tear in your eye, to now?
No, it's definitely a night and day difference. The skill, just developing the skill. You have to develop it though. Like, you have to put in the work and you got to do it. Like, it's not a lot of people, and I'm not saying, the people with Breathing with the Markets are like this or anything, but like, a lot of traders out there, or a lot of people out there in general, they want everything now. They want the reward now. They don't want to have to put in the work. And unfortunately, I feel like that's kind of, our society is that way almost, but you do have to put in the work. Like, you do have to develop it. Any real skill comes with time and dedication into developing the skill. So you got to do it. You have to do it. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Like, it is very, very powerful, the way that we trade and the way that you've taught us to trade. But you got to put in the effort. Like, it's not just going to be like, oh, here, look for this, this, and this, and you're good. Like, that's it. You're good. Like, that's not how it works. So I would just say, it's developing the skill over the last few months has been great. I love working on myself. I like learning new stuff, and it's just been a really good experience. So,
do you think trading will make you a better person in your all around life?
I feel like it already has made me a better person. I've noticed that I'm a lot more patient with my kids. I've learned to in trading, especially on a 1 minute chart, like you almost get this like, oh, I got a
bunch of kids.
I gotta do it.
You have a bunch of kids on the 1 minute chart, right?
It's
at first.
And it's all kind of all over the place. But then like once you learn like the speed of it, and you learn to just slow down and like go with the speed of the market, and your patience increases. You're not as jumpy, as reactionary, I guess you should say. And that's also translated over into my family life. I'm not as loose of a cannon, I guess, with my kids and just life in general and tough situations. I do look at challenges in life differently now as just opportunities. It's like, okay, what can I learn? Like, what can I learn from this?
Yeah. I use a thing all the time, is it just makes you stronger, right?
Yeah.
A setback will make you stronger. A setback will make you stronger. If you're not working and you're not applying and you're not challenging yourself and you're not actually trading in the market, then you're not going to have a setback. You're not going to know and understand what that feels like. If you have an influx of money coming in, you have all this money coming in, then you don't really understand the value of a skill, right?
Yep.
If we start at zero, each and every day, we can understand the value. If you continue to pass those test accounts using objective trading, like trading objectively in the market, then you know that's going to eventually spill over and you're going to get on some runs and it's going to be rewarding. You know, I've said sometimes, you know, God is testing you. I told the trader, God's testing you. Not that they did anything bad, right? They didn't do anything bad. He's just testing your will to survive, right? Like your positive thoughts, your faith in the system, your faith in yourself, your faith in reality, right? Because each and every day is going to be different. It's not going to be the same. And I really appreciate you taking the time, Sean. You have really come a long way. And my final word would be that if anyone is say they want to become healthier or they want their trading to become more productive, right? Just like anything else, if we go to the gym and we're 10 pounds or 20 pounds overweight, when we go to the gym the first 30 days, are we going to see big results?
No, you know, and it's going to suck.
It's going to suck, right? And it's about going there. It's about taking that first step, putting the shoes on, driving to the gym. That's 90% of it. Because when you get there and you watch everyone else working out, you're not going to just stand there. You're going to grab a weight or two and you're going to start doing something. That in itself is going to make you a better person, right? It's the same with trading. You cannot see results immediately when you have been gambling for 5 and 6 years. There are people that have no trading experience whatsoever that come on over and they learn really quick because they learn how to objectively and appropriately trade in the market, right? Now it's that we got to work on that dollar figure, right? Like, oh, this is cool, right? No, I'm going to make $1 million. No, we got to get rid of that, right? Because that's just, there's influencers influencing the negative side of the market, right? Where's the money? We're not in the market for the money because this $2,000 payout in one day. I mean, have you ever made 2,000 in one day besides construction, right? I mean,
I don't even think I made that much in construction. I mean, maybe when I was heading up a big project and maybe see it later out down the line, but
right. You know, when you figure it out,
never been able to trade one day and then the very next day get the money, or work one day, trade, work one day, and then the very next day take the money out and then work again and then take another 2,000 out and then work again. And then, you know, it never happened. That's never happened.
Yeah. And do you really understand the power of it? Like, you know, like it comes into the account, but it's still fake to me. That's the way I look at it. It's just like, okay, it's there, right? My coffee or my lunch is going to taste the same today.
Yeah.
That's why people continue to chase this dream. If you're taking those base hits, and base hits could be $5,000 a day. Base hits can be $1,000 a day. Base hits can be $200 a day. It's $200 or it's $25 a day that you didn't have. I tell traders all the time, if you cannot make $25 a day, you cannot make $750 a day. Mm-hmm. It's not the dollar figure. It's the skill. The skill is going to reward you. And that's what's happening here, Sean, is your skill is telling you 2,500, 3,500, 2,500, 1,800. Blown account, no big deal. I got the skill. I'll be back. 2,500, 3,000, 10,000, 500, 300. Blown account, don't worry. I'll be back. You see, the market can't hide. That is powerful. Going back to whether you would want $1 million, I'll up the ante here. Would you rather have 5 million today or knowing that the skill that you have today is only going to grow? Which one would you take?
The skill.
Because once you lose the 5 million,
you got nothing.
You have nothing and you'll never be able to make it back. I mean, we're just talking probabilities, right?
Yeah.
You know, versus a clown getting on you. How do you know he wouldn't be able to make it back, right? Think about it, right? Yeah. Those lucky times, those fortunate days, those, wow, I got a break. Wow, I don't know how I just came into, you know, I got in this business deal by accident and worked out. How many times are those accidents going to work, right? You accidentally got a push down or a push up and you were profitable and you thought you now know what the Holy Grail is. The Holy Grail is waking up every day. That's the Holy Grail. Being able to wake up each and every day. What you do when you wake up till the time that you go back to sleep is going to make a big difference in your life. Right? Thank you, Sean. And as always, thank you. And I know the mentees are going to enjoy the interview. They love hearing traders within Breathing with the Markets. They love to hear their stories. They love to hear their struggles. They love to hear what they're doing, how they're feeling. And for any trader out there that truly wants to learn how to trade, I don't take credit cards for a reason. because it's not about money. There have been numerous people that have reached out to Breathing with the Markets, wanting to know if I will accept credit cards for this one time or that time. And the answer is no, it's not about the money. I want to train traders how to become successful with their skill. With that said, I wish you all well and have a great day. Peace, traders.
Thanks, Rich. Talk to you later.
Thank you.